This is Spotlight TV, and I am Christian Lestat. Yes, sir. For the people at home, who are we here with today?
My name is Kelly Armour.
Now, where are we at right now?
We are in the Erie Art Museum Annex.
Now, what's going on?
Well, we've got a wonderful new exhibit called Ancient Microworlds, and it is a science exhibit and an art exhibit all at the same time.
Now, who's the artist here?
Well, there's two artists that collaborated on this show. They're also both scientists, and I have to look on a card to remember their names. Gerard Foster is one of them.
Now, this is a big art show going on. There's multi-art shows, exhibits going on. How many different shows is going on as we speak?
Well, the art museum has 4 different galleries, so we've got 4 different shows going on right now. But this whole event this evening is with 8 other galleries in town are also holding receptions at the same time.
Right as we speak right now?
As we speak.
What are the names of the other galleries?
Oh, wow. To name a few, Bayfront Gallery, Allen Stoneware, McGeary's Gallery 7, Uraro's Gallery.
Now, is there a next event booked coming up?
We try to do this gallery night where we put a call out to all of the local galleries and say, if you want to join us in one evening of having openings across the city. So I think we're going to have another one in January.
Now, how long have you been doing the arts in this town? Working with the arts?
I've been doing?
Yeah.
Ooh, I've been working at the art museum for the past 5 years. If that's what you mean.
Well, were you born in Erie?
Oh, no, I wasn't. I moved here when I was in 1st grade, so I grew up in Erie.
How'd you get involved in the arts?
Well, I'm a musician and a storyteller, and I came to the museum as a folklorist. So my job started out as working, creating a folk arts program for the art museum, where I identify traditional folk artists living in the community and try to help them out and help them keep their art going, help them get funding for what they do, help them get some recognition. But I had some ideas of how to do some educational programs with some of the exhibits, so I ended up running the education program here.
Now, musician, and what type of music?
Folk music.
Now, did you write your own, or did you sing other covers?
A little bit, but I mostly interpreted old songs from, America and also from Africa.
Now, what's your favorite like songs, like names of songs you have done?
I suppose my favorite kind of song is a really old song that's been passed down through the oral tradition. And being able to learn it from somebody who's had it in their family for generations, that's my favorite kind of song.
All right, are you ready to give this virtual tour?
Sure.
So what's this event called again?
This exhibit is called Ancient Microworlds. And it's a really interesting exhibit because it's a science exhibit and it's an art exhibit. So if you look at different things, you can appreciate it just for the sheer beauty of what it is. But you can also appreciate it for what it is physically. These couple of guys, they're scientists and they're artists, collaborated in taking photographs of these fossils. And the fossils are both, there's animals, there's plants, and there's bacteria. And the labels, there's extensive text for each one of these. And it'll tell you how many times they had to magnify the picture. Now, just photographing these things poses some technical problems. If you've ever looked at anything under a microscope, you've noticed that the colors get bleached out really easily. Mostly because the more surface area something has, the more bumps and dents that something has, the more the light gets refracted off of it. I mean, think about beach glass. Beach glass, when it's dry, looks kind of dull. And it's not a very saturated color because it's got all these surface indentations and scratches on it. When you get beach glass wet, that sort of smooths it over and the color becomes more bright. So a lot of times these photographers that created this exhibit had to figure out how to photograph these things so that the colors remained really saturated and interesting. So a lot of times they ended up having to take their specimens and cover it with a thin layer of oil or water So you'd have this beautiful picture. Also, if you look at all of these different images, some of these things are recognizable. Like here you go. You've got these shells. That's recognizable. But a lot of them, like the other pieces on this wall here, they're really abstract. And the artists realized when they started photographing all these fossils, they realized that they really needed to have some pieces in the show that were not abstract, that were recognizable, because it would just be a little too disorienting for a visitor to come in and see all these weird things that they couldn't make any sense out of. So they kind of mixed the abstract with the realistic. And also, and generally the things that are recognizable, all these nautilus shells, are at a lower power of magnification than the things that aren't so recognizable. But here we go. Here's a little tiny piece of a dinosaur, a fossilized dinosaur bone, but it's been magnified 45 times. Yeah. It's interesting that our assistant curator told me that these two guys that collaborated on this show, they started taking beautiful photographs of old, ancient jewelry. And they ended up getting into fossils because it's a whole lot easier to find ancient fossils than it is ancient jewelry. But it is really a beautiful show, and you can appreciate it just for its intrinsic beauty, and you can also appreciate it for the fact that this is the natural world that we're seeing, although you're seeing it in this really up close and personal way.
All right. Do you have anything else to show out?
Well, gee, I don't know. I mean, I think that pretty much sums up the show.
Any websites you want to give?
Huh?
Any websites you want to give and promote?
Well, I'd say the Erie Art Museum website is a good website to check out, www.erieartmuseum.org, and you can find that not only do we show artwork, but we have lots of concerts. We give classes for the community in drawing and painting and even belly dance. So, and we have programs for teachers, we have programs for kids. You should check it out.
Thank you very much, and this has been Christian Lestat signing off for SpotLight TV.